Hi guys, I'm Cesar Santos and I wanted to go over my sketchbook work with you. These are pretty much years. This is a time machine. I can go back to my high school years to be able to locate a thought, a comment, a drawing within those sketchbooks. I wanted to share with you and spend some time within these videos to tell you the ideas behind it and the purpose of making a sketchbook and how crucial it has been in the development of my art and my career. This is my latest sketchbook. It's been a couple of years in the works, because what I do sometimes is that instead of filling one sketchbook and going to the next one, which is my plan all the time, I end up drawing a little bit here, doing some work there, then finding some empty pages on other sketchbooks and adding stuff. But in general, they are done year by year or once at a time. I have decided to not just buy sketchbook as they come from the factories and as they sell it in the stores, but rather to build a sketchbook from scratch and make it custom made, make it so that I enjoy it more. And I mean getting paper of good quality that I like, and having it made also with different tints of color paper. Also designing the front, the cover with one of my paintings. The first page is not a good page to draw or paint on, so I decided to just write some quotes and comments. But for now, I want to go ahead and show you my working pages. Here I have spent the first page of my sketchbook with a portrait of my wife. This is oil paint, and I did it over 3 layers, more or less 3 hours a day per session. What I do is that I get the paper that I want to paint on, and I put 3 coats of acrylic paint or acrylic gesso and sand it a little bit, just so when I paint with oil on top of it, it can take it. It doesn't ruin the paper, or the paper doesn't absorb all the oil that the paint has. Here is an example of the golden paint that I use. This is just acrylic paint. My work is with oil, but I can put a coat of gesso or acrylic just to protect the page. I also draw on the papers, and if you see a drawing, that means that the paper is fine. I didn't have to prepare it. This paper is meant to be good for drawings. This is a little sheet of wax paper that I decided to put on pages that I have painted to protect each page from getting contaminated too much. I'm not too meticulous with my sketchbook. I just like to have it kind of in a good state, so that way it protects my pages from influencing each other too much. In my second page, in this page, I decided to do a drawing of Annigone's mannequin. Annigone has been a great inspiration since I was studying at the Angel Academy. Here is a copy of a drawing. Sometimes I don't even remember the names of the people I copy. If I see something I like, whether it's in an exhibition or online at a museum, I go ahead and copy it just because I want to go through the experience as much as I can that the artist went through. How did he solve the problem of hatching, of shadow unity, and that way I can just experience it myself. And that's the role of a sketchbook, to just exercise. Here I have 2 copies as well, and the reason for this is that I wanted to study the structure of the face, and this was a great example that I saw that had all the individual planes and forms very articulated, very kind of obvious. Doing copies is a great exercise. That's how as humans we learn how to talk by copying our parents, and also how to dance by copying dancers. So it's nothing bad to just copy. Here is another copy I did of Dan Thompson. I recently took a workshop with him on figure drawing because I love the way he presents the form and he understands anatomy, and it's always good to stay learning. That's a friend of mine. I decided to first do the whole drawing in pencil. You can see the pencil in the back. Once I had the whole face even rendered with pencil, I sprayed it with a fixative, and on top of that spray I painted with a very thin layer of oil and just added the color to create that contrast between the monochrome of the pencil and the color of the oil. On this page I did a copy of a sculpture at the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. What I did was that instead of having the hair and the eyes white as marble with the, which is the original sculpture, I decided to put real hair, or at least the impression of real hair, and also the iris in the eyebrows. And it gives a vibe and the sense of classical, like if I copy a classical drawing. I did this drawing while I was in Belgium a couple of years ago, and just studying different type of line application to solve the shading effect. And this is a copy of an older drawing. I decided to put marks. You know that I love pre-mixing colors. I have a lot of tubes of paint that I pre-mix, and what I do is that I get samples sometimes and just put a little square on the sketchbook to remember. For instance, this line here I made it with lead white, and this one here with titanium white, just so that I can see in time what the difference is as time passes with the two colors. I have some shadows that I liked and I put here, some light colors, some pinks for the flesh. And we have to keep in mind that this whole thing is brainstorming. This is kind of like a similar example of what I just mentioned before. I did the whole drawing with a red color pencil. Maybe you can see it through here and in some areas. But first I did a sketch with red, then I got sanguine and did the hair, and with a regular pencil, a lead pencil, I just did the final rendering of the face. So at the end there's like a few layers of different temperatures and colors in there just by using 3 color pencils. Normally, when I have a copy in the museum, I will write down notes on the things that I need to improve and things that I need to make better. But this one I just abandoned on the first stage without much fixing. So that's why it's not that nice. And here is a drawing by the sculptor Carpo. This sculpture is at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Alright, so I think this is enough for today. I have a lot of more interesting things coming up, but for today, I need to take a break. Alright, let's wrap this video up. Sketchbooks are essential to develop the art. Writing, painting, drawings are the beats to my heart. Remember to subscribe here on YouTube, and also follow me on Instagram by typing Santos Art.